I'd like to say an enormous thank you to all of the people who voted in the UCU General Secretary election, which closed last Friday, but with the result with a difference between myself and the incumbent amounting to just 0.1% of UCU membership. It's not over yet. My name is Ewan McGaughey, candidate for UCU General Secretary, and I've been overwhelmed with all the support for our platform for fair pay, democracy, equality, security, living planet, rebuilding UCU and transforming UK education, especially because during term time most of us have got so much work to do that we don't really have much time to focus on union elections. Almost never in the history of union elections has an incumbent general secretary been ousted in a vote. There's even a sociological theory about this called the iron law of oligarchy that says because union executives possess the technical and bureaucratic control of the union, fair competition can't really happen. Union democracy is a myth. But I don't believe that. To give you an indication of just how close this was, there were 182 votes in the final tally reported on Friday between myself and the General Secretary, requiring just a swing of 92 votes. That amounts to 1% of the voter turnout here, 0.1% of the union membership, because voter turnout was so low, it was only 15.1%, and there were 141 votes found to be invalid, and 1,797 votes that were found to be non-transferable. So in these unique circumstances, I've got an obligation to ask for a recount. I owe this obligation to everyone who did vote to make sure that it is correct. I owe this obligation to the nearly 100,000 members who didn't get to cast their vote, the thousands of people who've left UCU since the incumbent's first year in office, the tens of thousands who haven't joined but desperately want a union that works, and to the brilliant staff at UCU who have in recent weeks alleged a culture of fear in their workplace under the incumbent. There have also been really big problems with the way that the process happened. Union social media was used illegitimately against union rules to campaign for the General Secretary. There have been campaign-style emails by the incumbent to all members, which other candidates couldn't do. And there were what in fact seemed to be solo hustings at various branches where other candidates weren't given an opportunity and weren't invited to put their case to members. But I also want to call on the UK government to pass urgent legislative reform to enable electronic ballots in all union elections and all votes to prevent situations like this with a tiny turnout. The banality and bureaucracy involved in mandatory postal voting in effect amounts to mass voter suppression. So we've got to be in the 21st century and the quality of election outcomes will improve. The last thing I want to say is to university and college employers, because UCU is in a mess, but that is nothing compared to the mess that's happened over the last years under your watch. We have had over 20% real terms pay cuts in higher education since 2009. We've got a 20% pay gap between colleges, college staff and teachers, which is just immoral. There are governing bodies which are mostly self-selecting, appointing their own successors. There is rampant discrimination and job insecurity up and down the country. And this shouldn't even be controversial. Our pensions are being used like a slush fund for city asset managers and invested in fossil fuels against the wishes of the vast majority of us, because it's directly contrary to what we believe in the future of education for this country. Education could be so much better if we restore a system of good faith collective bargaining to get fair pay, democracy, equality, security, and a living planet. So I'm trying to do everything that I can, starting with asking for a recount, and I hope that you have a wonderful day ahead and that we can improve things.